distance nerding.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Well, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is a wonderful Thursday. I'm losing track of my days, man. It is a wonderful Thursday, and we are here with another episode of Distance Nerding Interviews. Another great guest, ladies and gentlemen. To the right on the screen, it is the man with the perfect hair under the hat. It is Jamez 5000. Of course, I'm your boy, Young Phil. We're here to nerd together. And Jamez is muted for some reason.
Don't steal my lines.
Well, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. It's time. We're ready to have some fun. But before we jump into everything, let's talk about sponsors. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This show is brought to you by the good folks over at Debbie. That's right. Debbie is a brand of energy drinks. Debbie is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. Debbie contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about Debbie at www.debbie.gg. Use the code NERDING10 and get 10% off your order. Deliciousness, guys.
What?
All right. Well, that's enough from there. We've got sponsors taken care of. Jamez has good lighting, but it's because my good camera is on the desk for when we do everything else.
Sandra's in the chat calling me short, so I'm just going to be like this.
So the chat's calling you short?
Yeah. It'll
Chat.
be like this the whole time.
Chat, it's fine. It's okay. I mean, it's between him and Tater. I think the next time we have Jamez and Tater together, we have to like measure who's the taller one.
And Bruce.
And Bruce, the 10-year-old, right? Let's see who's. I think we need to put a chemo in there too and see like who's taller between all you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. Tonight, we're welcoming a guest who has spent years pulling back the curtain on the creative world and giving fans a front row seat to the minds behind their favorite stories. Our guest is a filmmaker, producer, and veteran podcaster who has conducted well over 1,000 interviews with comic creators, filmmakers, musicians, and storytellers across the geek culture landscape. In other words, he's another version of us. Through his long-running show, Two Geeks Talking, he's built a reputation for diving deep into the journeys, struggles, and triumphs that shape the people behind the art. So get ready for a conversation about creativity, storytelling, and the wild ride of the entertainment industry as we sit down with the host of Two Geeks Talking. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show for the first time, it's Kurt Sasso.
Wow, I'm gonna have you guys write my introduction from now on. Like, this is great. I couldn't do anything better. This is awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Absolutely, man.
We like to impress.
We try at least. On a minimum, man.
Yes.
So yes,
we like to start up high because then it's downhill from here.
It's always downhill from
You know.
here. It's terrible. So let's jump right into this, man. Let's get into your story. Let's talk about you, right? So we have a segment on the show called Growing Up Geeky. What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Oh boy. Well, I think for me, I was an only child, so I was just growing up in the 80s. I was just every single cartoon that was awesome and amazing and imaginable. So from He-Man to G.I. Joe to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 90s, my love of comics and cartoons has been everlasting for all of my life here. But I just really enjoyed like music and animation and everything along that line. Up until high school, I didn't even know what anime was until I was introduced to me by the anime club. So it was like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball was my introduction to anime way back when. And that kind of led into filmmaking and more as a producer and a writer. I do a lot of DIT work as well currently in my life, but I'm kind of an overall geek from sports to pop culture to music, even for that matter. And growing up in the 80s and 90s, I can't tell you these were like some of the best decades, I think, of music that at least I lived through. So, I mean, please prove me wrong, but
yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of similarities. I was the same kid where it's like cartoons, comic books, and then music, and then like sports cards kind of got me into
Yeah.
following sports, that sort of thing. But we're here in California. Where did you grow up?
Oh, I'm just across the river from Detroit, Michigan. So I'm a Canadian.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's from
welcome.
the great. He's from the great. I was gonna say the great state, but that's no. They're better than that. He is from the great country of Canada.
There you go. Almost a Michigander, if you will.
Yeah, the accent kind of sometimes slips through there. So if I give you an A or something like that, then that's just me being Canadian.
There you go. There you go. So
I was gonna say James. So are we sure he's not a co-host on our show?
could be.
Yeah.
You could definitely fill my spot. You got the experience. You got more experience than I do. So, is this my exit interview? Thanks a lot.
Oh,
Phil.
jeez.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just sprung it up on you at the last minute. James.
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
No, real quick though,
Yeah.
you were mentioning being a geek and a nerd growing up, but then it kind of got you into like sports. So being from Canada, but also being so close to like Michigan,
Yeah.
who did you follow as like your teams?
So for me, and this may be so un-Canadian, but this is just how I grew up because my folks were fans of these teams here. I said every single Detroit team is a fan. I'm a fan of, I should say, no matter how bad they suck. And I tracked this because I was just a geek in that respect as well too. From statistics, I was tracking the 4 major sports teams from the 70s to the 2000s at the time of if 2 teams were good, 2 teams were bad. If 1 team was good, 3 teams were bad. And I was just going through that cycle, and I found that the most consistent was the Red Wings. So that was always fun to see. So every single Detroit team is a team I will root for, and we don't speak of the Toronto Maple Leafs, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because like the one team that's like good from Detroit that he follows is like the one sport that is like the most Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I can't skate worth a darn, but I can enjoy watching it on TV, so that works out.
Right. That's interesting.
It's also better than being sad while being a Lions fan at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some rough years.
I was gonna say my wife is from Michigan,
Oh yeah,
but she is not a Michigan fan at all. Like she's a 49er fan, she's a Notre Dame fan. I know Notre Dame's very close, but she goes with Notre Dame over like Michigan or Michigan State. So it's really interesting how she's a Giants fan. So she's like,
wow.
I don't want to have anything to do with Michigan.
I live there. It's fine. I don't need
Yeah,
to root for the sports.
I've been
team.
to the
Sure.
UPA. It's okay. We're fine. We're fine.
Does she point on her hand where exactly she is?
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna be like, so where were you?
So if Detroit's here, we're across the river. So we're technically. I'm sorry. If Detroit's here, we're actually north of Detroit because Detroit is north of us. That's what it was. Yeah. So look
In
on the map.
Canada?
In Canada, yeah. So Detroit is actually
Okay,
north
hold
of
on.
us. Yeah. Look,
What is happening?
geography, the world collides, dinosaurs roam the earth, one of those situations.
Am I gonna get a geographical lesson from Canada right now? Oh my gosh, is that
It's
really
happening.
true?
Well,
Yeah, it is.
you know the Journey song, Born and Raised in South Detroit, from
Yeah.
Don't Stop Believing. Born and Raised in South Detroit is a reference to Windsor.
Mind blown. What the heck is going on in the world these days?
Crazy, I know.
There's a lot happening in the world these days.
Yeah. So let's get back to the
sorry.
nerdy and the geeky stuff. So what did you read? Like what comic books did you
I actually didn't read comic books until I was playing WoW with a guilty mind out of actually the Cenarius West Coast server. I was in the East Coast, so 3-hour time difference is always fun for raiding, as I'm sure many of you guys know. But
James.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so a friend of mine, Phil, he said, "Hey, do you like comics?" I said, "Yeah, I love comics." He goes, "Well, do you like web comics?" I go, like, yeah, I love webcomics. I'm reading Penny Arcade and PvP and, those major comics. He goes, well, I have a list. And it was a list of over 4,000 categorized webcomics of their release schedule for if there was weekly, biweekly, whatever the case may be.
Wow.
And he gave me like a Netscape HTML bookmarks file. Said, here's my webcomics list. Take a look, see what you like, and away we go. I'm like, well, this is awesome. And I'd read so many amazing comics like Megatoki and a bunch of others that were more indie that survived a couple of years and then kind of went on hiatus and then canceled. But there were so many talented individuals out there that I just was like, man, they must be loving what they're doing from a creative perspective, writing perspective, art style back in the 90s and 2000s was ever changing and evolving. It was so incredible that way. But
and
then,
the internet, like a
of
webcomic,
course.
being a new medium to play with, like a
Yeah.
new sandbox. So yeah, it made it even more interesting. Is that what got you into, like, you have a bunch of degrees, right? Like, is that what I heard?
Yeah, I have a background in computer science, 20 years in IT, in the industry itself. Got burnt out with the industry, went back to school, decided some reason to take a double major in communication, media, and film, and visual arts, like fine art. Don't know how that came about, but it
Because you
did.
had free time.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah,
Waiting for those West Coast WoW raids.
that was about a decade before that, but yeah, it got to the point where I went back to school and I just found a new passion for creativity and for connecting with people and producing their short films more so than what I wanted to create. But while I was at school, I was still doing the show. I was still doing Two Geeks Talking. So pulling a double major, doing 4 years in 3, and still doing a weekly show, if not bi-weekly, it got to the point where I was in my element. Scott,
Yeah.
It was one of those things where once you start doing something like being on a show like this and being on your own show, you get into a habit and you get into a rhythm and you start
A
asking
little bit of a
questions.
thrill behind it too.
Yeah. It's like, what story are they going to tell me here today? What is the story they want to talk about? And is their life more interesting than mine? And 90% of the time, yes, it is.
That's so true. I remember actually how young Phil and I met. We were kind of helping out or fans of another podcast. Some friends had a podcast, and we would kind of help out behind the scenes. We didn't even know each other at the time, but like every now and again, like we'd be on the show, but it would, that little itch, that bug of like, I want to get back on mic. I want to talk more. I want to nerd out with somebody. I want to geek out with somebody. That always crept up, and that's kind of what led to our show. So going back to the start of Two Geeks Talking.
Sure.
When did it start? How did it start?
So back to Phil and his webcomics list, he decided to create a webcomics.com webcomics database. And it was literally, he's a programmer, so he was designing everything from scratch.
Wait, hold on. You have a Phil in your life too? That's
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry for you.
I immediately for a second I was like, wait, me? Oh wait, no. There's another.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Database,
I have a Phil and I know 6 Daves, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So anyhow, he was designing the website, and then before this phrase is currently popular, I said, "Hey, you have this list. We should create a podcast." So we created a podcast. He goes, "Well, I'm busy with this, so you create the podcast." So I'm like, "How?" So 2008, August 8th, 2008 is when we started. And he was the host, I was the co-host, or it was kind of co-hosting duties.
Yeah.
But I had to learn the technology, the Wild West back then. Dial-up was still a thing. I was using TalkShoe for 64 hertz audio, which was such an amazing quality audio. Other than that, it was like 2-hour live shows, and it was just, we would get
live shows on on the internet or
on the internet. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, I'm trying to think back to 2008. Did we have iPhones?
Yes, iPhone came out in 2006, I think.
And YouTube? somewhere around the same time.
YouTube was 2010.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
so he was live streaming using HTML code on like
Wow.
random websites. He was on like a blog site.
Something
That's like Joe Rogan style. Like, I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I was
I don't know if
before Joe
anybody's
Rogan.
listening. There's no analytics. It's just
Yeah.
broadcasting to the world and see what happens.
Yeah, I was literally I was a month before Joe Rogan and Mark Maron started their own respective shows.
So they owe it to you, is what
Basically,
you're
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm still waiting for the check, by the way. So yeah,
saying. Just from like one check, Joe Rogan.
yeah, just something, you know.
Oh
I'm
my
not
gosh.
monetized, so you know.
And like
help
Mark,
me out.
I was gonna say, and Mark Maron, like he's gone through like what 3 or 4 different iterations of podcasting now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
He's definitely not hurting for content.
No.
That's for sure.
no, not at all.
Okay,
yeah.
so I have to geek out a little bit on this. So what was it like podcasting way back then? Like how did Two Geeks start out? What was like the format?
The format was it was literally a 2-hour interview. We would take a look at the list. And I keep referring to the list, but it was our guidepost for our guests. And I would email these guests. I said, hey, we have a live show. We'd love to have you on, talk about your comic, talk about your process. We'll have people call in to ask questions. Social media was definitely not as wide as it is currently here today.
Mhm.
So we were using Facebook and a bunch of other things. Just a lot of direct messaging, a lot of message boards back then as well too. So it was just like whatever message board I could find, I would say, hey, we got this guest or we need a guest, come on in. And so it was not edited whatsoever. It was just straight. Person would call in, you'd hear the dial tone, they would call in. Everything was just raw. Like, I mean, as raw as you could get.
Live radio show.
Exactly. It's like, Howard Stern-esque, but with comics. But yeah, it was just one of those things where you needed that type of platform because you're dealing with comic creators that are introverted or extremely introverted. And it's just audio. There's no video whatsoever. So it's a little easier to just go audio to audio and just you're having a conversation like we're having here today and dive into what is passionate about them. Sometimes it was pulling teeth. Other times it wasn't. It got to the point where we found a rhythm where there was no real segments. It was just person would come on. We'd do 30 minutes to 45 minutes for the talk. People would call in, ask their questions, or we would just randomly shoot the stuff and away we go. So yeah, that was for a good 4 years we were doing that. And then Phil left, the other Phil, not this Phil. And
we can't get rid of this Phil. He's the backbone. See how it turned out to be nice? I made that nice.
So if you were to get rid of me, that like I don't know, like somebody would have to learn how to do video production on the show.
Learn how to build Lego? Sure.
Learn how to build Lego.
I got it.
I mean, I think you got that. I'm pretty sure you got that.
So anyhow, so 2000 to 2012, I ended up switching to video, to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the first 4 C2E2s in Chicago doing video interviews from everyone to Ramon Perez interviewed to Jill Thompson to had 150 interviews like the first year I was there, 4 days on my feet wearing horrible shoes. So, I was wearing dress shoes because I thought I'd look professional. By the 12th hour, I was like, nope, I am throwing on my runners because I can't feel my feet.
That's funny. That's funny. So that was kind of like your first con, right? As like, Two Geeks Talking. Have you been to a Comic-Con before that? Before
No.
C2?
No, C2E2 was my very first comic convention ever as a geek, which is, I know, probably sacrilegious because we have Toronto up here, but I did Chicago first, and then I went like a couple months later, I went up to Toronto, and I did that for a good 6 years straight. And every so often I'll pop in and see how it is, but it's 2 different worlds. I mean, 400,000 people every single day up in Toronto, and you have like a good 100,000+ in Chicago, and it's just like food's better in Chicago, but I mean, is what it is. But it was just being a new geek and having a little handheld camcorder and little really crappy audio recorder and syncing up the video to the audio. A lot of technology I had to learn, editing software as well too. But it was just like, how do I get these interviews? How do I do a live interview? Because I had already done everything over the phone. I didn't know what to do. Do I just go up to a person? Like I interviewed Max Brooks, the Z for Zombie author.
Okay.
And he was my first interview of the convention. And I was so nervous. I said, okay, so Mark, how's it going here? And he goes, okay, just stop. And he literally, and this is a recorded interview. It's all online. It shows me embarrassing myself, making an ass of myself. He goes, oh, and he covers his book of it, the name of his book. And he says, okay, you got 3 chances to guess my name. And I said, okay, it's Max. He goes, good. Okay, Fred, what did you want to ask me? And throughout the entire interview, he kept changing my name.
That's great.
Called me Arsenio at one point. So, I mean, yeah, there you go.
Oh.
And
obviously, I'm a big Max Brooks fan, right? So it's like
the funny thing about that convention was there was a very disheveled person that was sitting right next to Max Brooks, alone, with all of his books in front of him. Something about George R.R. Martin or something like that.
No shit, that's dope.
Walked right by him, went to Max.
My gosh.
So,
obviously, this is before the deal, the HBO deal and everything like that. Yeah.
Right.
Just a few years, yeah.
He was just hanging out.
He was waiting to sign books.
He's like, this is never going to go anywhere. I don't know. There's no reason to finish the last book.
Yeah. I mean, there's not enough people coming to this table. I have no reason to finish Wins of Winter.
Yeah, it's maybe I'll just pick up a Stephen King book and read it while I'm here. So
Wow, that is crazy. You were just hanging out next to George R. Martin.
But hanging out with Max Brooks, though, I mean, you're literally hanging out with the legend of all legends, amazing writer of a son. I mean, come on, man.
I know. Trust me, I've been kicking myself for the past 18 years, but still with that interview after all this time. So if he hasn't given me some slack, I can't give myself slack.
Okay, so starting audio podcasting, branching out, doing live interviews. What has been something that has surprised you in this podcast world that you've been in?
A couple of things. I think the ease of access to listen to any podcast in the world is a huge factor. Searchability is another thing, but the audio quality has hugely improved from when I started to its current iteration right now. The technology alone has just been incredible, leaps and bounds over. Like we're doing this 10 years ago wasn't like this. We were dealing with 360p quality when I started. It went up to 480 and then 720 finally kicked in. When I got my webcam, the Logitech C920, which I'm still using to this day, it was the first 1080p webcam out there. And I'm just like, this is the best $100 I've ever spent. So technology is greatly improved.
It's funny. I come from the audio world, right? And I'm an audio engineer. My degree's in recording arts. And I remember when I was actually in the music industry, and this was back in 2008, 2009. So about the same time, right? I remember the biggest technology that came out in the music industry that we all were going nuts over was this technology where you could do a live recording across the country, where we could set up a mixer that was connected via the internet, and that somebody could record a verse or record a riff in New York that we recorded in San Francisco, and then somebody edited in LA, and it was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. And it was slow. It took
Yeah.
forever to connect everything together. We had to do recordings and then listen back and wait 10 minutes in order to get everything there. Now everything's real time. Like I could literally record music with somebody right now using this this web app.
Yeah.
It's amazing how just crazy things have jumped in the way that they are now.
Yeah, it's so incredible. And even streaming, like live streaming, like we're doing here today, like that to me is just an incredible push towards getting it into everyone's home. Like I haven't done a live stream in a while myself personally for the show, but ever so often I have the itch to kind of go back to it. It's just I like to edit my final product so that it tells the guest story. That's the only reason why I haven't done lives after all this time. But I love the fact that you're interacting with your amazing fans of the show itself. You have sponsorships, you have that amazing push of what you're doing because you're creating a great product and you're creating a great show for people to enjoy. And that's what I like. That's what I hope I'm doing with Two Geeks Talking. I don't know. I feel like I live in a bubble after all this time.
Right. And I mean, that's the reason we started going live, was so that we could interact with our audience. And that's like the big thing. It's almost like gratifying to be able to talk to your audience while you're doing the show.
Yeah, for sure. And
it does add another layer, like another layer of like just excitement to the whole thing of being able to talk to somebody live and talk to your audience and them talking back to you, that sort of thing. So that's kind of where we've been the last few years. It started out just as an audio podcast as well, same thing. But then as we got into the live thing, it just started to become this community thing of us playing with our friends and our audience, you know. And sometimes it'd be a friend that was in Florida or Chicago, or, our friend next door, literally next door, like across the fence line from where we were recording. And it was just interesting to play around with everybody. So, yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, it really brings people together. I think that's the one thing, whether you're interviewing guests like myself or, they're on the show for the first time, or in my case, I've had 2 guests that have been on the show 13 times and 11 times over the past 18 years. So, and they're competing they're comic creators and they compete with each other because they know each other to see who
it's
can
like
get the
SNL,
most.
like SNL getting part of the 5 Timers Club or something like that.
So now, go ahead.
I was going to say, how has podcasting, we talked about like technology changing, but like how has like the culture changed, especially, going from where you were like on the web, audio only, going live, that sort of thing, doing live interviews. How has the culture of podcasting changed that you've seen?
I think it's widely accepted as the platform to get your message out there. Because everyone can listen to a podcast no matter what they're doing. I mean, obviously don't do it while you're driving, or if you do, make sure it's on Bluetooth. But in the gym, there's some percentage of like 70 to 80% of people listen to podcasts while doing anything in their lives that is not their job, or they use it during the job, something like that. I read that somewhere. I'm probably completely misquoting it, but whatever.
But it sounds good, and that's all that matters in podcasting.
Just, I'll put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You maybe listen to this podcast 80% of the time.
80% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Thank you. Good Anchorman reference. I love that. That's awesome. But yeah, I think it's just, you can listen to a podcast anywhere. Unlike, the video, you have to watch it, or, you're going to throw that up while you're at the gym or whatever the case may be. But in this case, I just think it's an amazing platform that people are kind of taking advantage of more so now because, due to COVID, they were listening to podcasts or they're watching shows or whatever. They're continuing that trend into now these later years. And it's just great to see. And I think that's just something where it's not going to go away anytime soon. I don't think it's going to shift anywhere unless we start going into virtual reality or anything like that.
Yeah.
Then we have our own avatars, but
And going back to technology, like what we were talking about, I think the barrier towards being set up for a podcast, like people still ask, when we do live shows or we're hosting Comic-Cons, like, how do I start a podcast? And be like, do you have a laptop? Yeah. Okay, start a podcast. How much money does it cost? It can cost nothing. You just need to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come up with excuses about why not to do a podcast versus like just do it and it's that fear of like starting something new or
Yeah.
putting yourself out
like,
there.
The biggest piece of advice we've given people is if you have a topic to talk about, just turn on the mic and talk. And it can evolve from there. Like literally our first episode was us just talking about a couple things that we wanted to talk about, and we literally called it you have to start somewhere. Yeah. and it evolved from there. But like that's the advice we give people is just if you want to do a podcast, just you're never gonna have the right time to start.
Right.
So just start.
Yeah, but that's also the hardest part is starting could be that barrier.
Yeah.
But getting past episode 10 is a huge barrier.
Yeah.
Because everyone usually stops.
Yeah, that was my next thing. Do you have any tips for somebody that maybe wants to start? I mean, you've been in the game for so long. Somebody that wants to start, or somebody that maybe hitting that episode 10 and they're hitting some kind of wall.
I think it goes back to what Phil was talking about. Like if you're truly passionate about talking about a topic, and this is just if you're geeking out over a specific topic, then you have to keep doing that, or find a different way to frame your niche or frame your passion for your show for episode 11. Give yourself something different to do, but you have to keep doing it no matter what. For what Two Geeks Talking is, it's an interview show. So I just have to ask the questions. It's up to the guests to bring me their answer and their stories and things like that. Yes, I do research and everything along that line too. I'm not just saying, here's 5 questions, answer them, and then I'll edit it. But if you're doing something you're truly passionate about, you will find ways, no matter how you frame it, to keep talking about it, because you're going to find like-minded people that love Legos or love Naruto or comics or love whatever. Maybe you're a film buff and you want to deep dive into Lord of the Rings or whatever. You want to do
that? You want to do that right now? Listen, I'm kidding.
Well, I had an author actually at California, Tom Racine, who wrote a Tolkien official authorized book about was it Doomed to Die, an A to Z of sorry, there's my Canadianism, an A to Z of death in Tolkien.
I think Americans are the only ones that don't say Z. I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. What's a Z?
Z. We say A to Z. Everybody else in the world says A to Z.
Oh.
What's a Z?
It's like a zebra, but without the bra.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Still makes no sense. I'm gonna blame it on Canada, but we'll keep going.
Okay.
Blame Canada.
I'm gonna blame Canada. I'm gonna blame you being a Lions fan. So I'm just kidding.
No, it's all good.
So let's go back to the interviews. So you kind of touched on it. I think you've done like over 1,000 interviews.
1,200 plus.
Crazy. 1,200 plus. That is nuts. What's your frequency of doing interviews? Is it like you schedule like one a week, 2 a week? Is it when do you release them?
As of right now, it's 1 a week. Back when I was really pushing it, I was doing 3 time slots on Saturdays. So 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. And those were like an hour long each, roughly. Edited down, they were around maybe 40 minutes to 50 minutes or something like that. I was mainly editing my questions because, you have to sound good. Because I edit for audio, I edit for the podcast. The video is clean too. It's just, you see the heads just jumping back and forth all the time. So it's not clean video, but it gets the message across. So I one point I did when I was going to university, I did 42 interviews in 30 days. And I was literally doing almost 4 interviews a day. It felt like it was literally anyone and everyone in the comic industry that I could get, and I was just banging them out one after another. It was a lot of work.
That is nuts. You know, you do have a way with like your interview style. I don't know what it is. And by the way, I love how you have your guests like do the intro for you. That's so smart. And I was watching a couple of your videos and I was like, oh, that's the guest. That's not Kurt. That's the guest. Oh, wait, they're explaining what they do. And then they tag at the end, like, and now you're watching Two Geeks Talking. I'm like, oh, he just had him do a promo.
Yep.
And that's how you start the conversation. I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah, it just, because sometimes if I'll mess up a last name or something like that, or if I can't quite get the same flow and
Like
their
Mark
passion.
Brooks.
Max.
Exactly.
Max Brooks.
Exactly.
He's just some son of some amazing director or something like that. Supposedly, I Wikipedia'd him or something. So,
It's like I don't know who Max Brooks is, but his dad. Now that guy's funny.
yeah. Oh, geez, I don't want to get sued. But
By the way, just for perpetuity, Max, we absolutely love you, and we would love to have you on the
we do.
show.
Yeah, I'd love to have you actually back on to you're talking to redeem myself from 18 years ago. So
There you go.
where were we? Oh yeah, getting the guests to introduce themselves. So yeah, it just got to the point where here's a quick 4 sentences. Do your introduction, spice it up however you want it in terms of where we can find you, how we can support you, and we'll dive right into the interview itself. And so I have about 15 questions roughly, and then my introspective questions are for a documentary I've been putting together for the last 15 or so years called Little Person Amongst Media Giants. So there were 4 questions I was going to ask Stan Lee. I didn't get a chance. So I asked these creative and talented people these same 4 questions. So
I like that. You can definitely turn that into some kind of shorts or reels type series that you can like put together. That'd be awesome.
actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tag me.
Tag him specifically. So you're gonna tag Jamez 5000.
Yeah. And make sure you tag us because we're gonna steal your idea about having guests do their promos at the beginning. So smart. No, what I was gonna say is that the flow of your interviews, you find a way to get these people to talk. It's really cool. Like, I think you're talking more on our show than you do on your own show. Like,
Yes.
you throw out one question and that person goes off for like 3 minutes. I'm like, how did he just do that?
I also think he needs to because he kind of is being interviewed on the show. So it's like, yeah, I kind of have to talk for once.
But it's just interesting the way that you got that to happen. So kudos to you.
I appreciate that because it's look, I'm an introverted extrovert, so I'm an extrovert when I need to be, but 90% of the time I'm an introvert. So once we're done this, I'm going to basically be having like 5 cups of coffee and then just watching some anime. So
So you're gonna go become a Frenchman. Well, you are in Canada.
Yeah, but that's Quebec. We don't talk about Quebec.
Quebec.
Tabernacle. Anyhow.
Do you have I'm trying to think. I want to talk about your 1,200 interviews.
Sure.
Is there a one that stands out as like this is a milestone for me or for the show, or this is one that stands out maybe for all the wrong reasons,
or just something that stands out to you, like something that means something to you.
Like that's a good point. Like something you'd put like on your resume, or maybe something you'd put on your mantle, like this. A digital mantle. We should have digital mantles.
I have a list of bucket list interviews. We've done 1 so far. So I mean, like that's a big thing. Like, do you have anything like that?
So that's like a 5-part question. So let's try to hit the top one, which is
hit my questions first, and then we can forget about Young Phil's.
So a favorite interview or milestone interview. I believe that was your question, James. So episode 10 of the show. And this is something I never expected to get. This was something it was a shot in the dark. Have you ever heard of the webcomic Girl Genius?
The name is
I have
familiar. I'm
not.
not familiar with it
Okay.
though.
Do you know who one of the or two of the original Magic the Gathering artists were, like from the original series?
I don't, but sounds interesting.
It is.
Go ahead.
So
Go for it. Go for it.
Phil and Kaja Folio
Uh-huh.
are the creators of an amazing, long-running, over 25 plus years, no, maybe longer than that, called Girl Genius Online. It's been online for literally decades. But they were also two of the original Magic the Gathering artists,
Interesting.
and so they do. They're both amazing people and all around wonderful people as well too. Episode 10, I sent an email to Phil and I said, "Hey, we're two geeks talking. I'd love to have you on the show. Blah blah blah. The usual spiel. Would you like to come on the show? It's an audio interview." I got a response back. He said yes. And so for an hour, we had like a tight hour with him because that's the only time it was like not rambling or anything because he had deadlines and stuff. But we had an amazing conversation, and I didn't expect to hear back from him whatsoever. That level of stardom, at least for me, because being a geek and seeing his amazing work, I did not expect to talk with him ever again.
Right.
Fast forward 15 years, and I sent him a quick email and said, "Hey, would you like to come back on Two Geeks Talking?" He said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And so he came back on. And so if it wasn't really for Phil, like that episode 10, that's so critical, at least in terms of being a podcast, if it wasn't for his interview with me, I don't think I probably would have continued it after all this time, because that was like, okay, are we going to succeed in this show?
Right.
Yes or no? Can I get bigger named guests than who we've already had? Okay, this is a possibility and it's doable.
Right.
I do have a bucket list to go on to Phil's thing. For me, I wanted to interview all of the original famous webcomic creators. And out of the 10 that are there, so I've never interviewed Penny Arcade. I've never interviewed Mega Tokyo. I've never interviewed, who's the other? I got the four major ones of the webcomics, the webcomic godfathers we call them, but I got them. So like Wes Molbash was one I'd always seen him in passing, never interviewed with him, but he's a very talented artist writer and artist out of Ohio, I believe. Got him on the show. This is just one of those things where I'm checking off these names finally after all this time, because I've either been around so long and they're still around, or they're still doing it and I've been around so long. One of those serendipitous things, I guess. I don't know, but I want to get like Penny Arcade on the show. I definitely want to get some of the others I've missed over the years while they're still around, because missing Stan Lee for an interview, that still kills me. But I have to find other amazing people to interview. Like I interviewed Neil Adams twice for me, and those were quick 5-minute interviews.
That's a pretty big deal to me, at least. Neil Adams is big.
Yeah, I interviewed 3 of his 4 sons as well too. So
wow.
Was any of them named Mark?
I can't remember.
Sorry. Well, I think that's the problem. You can't remember.
There's a Mark there somewhere.
There may be, yeah. I think I'll have to look back. But
well, I like what you said, and I like that kind of get going where what we end up talking about with our guests that we talk about, because we'll interview people at like Comic-Cons. We'll host a few Comic-Cons here on the West Coast, and we'll get to interview certain celebrities or certain artists and that sort of thing. And you start to realize they're all just people.
Yeah.
And they usually are very passionate about what they do, and they want to talk about that.
Right.
Or they may have a hobby that they're super into, and they want to talk about that, Yeah. So it's just about relating to people as people.
Right.
Like we were in Boise, Idaho, I think last year before, and we were interviewing Scott Patterson and Sean Gunn.
Nice.
And they were both on Gilmore Girls, but Sean Gunn's been in Marvel and DC and stuff like that. But for like the first 10 minutes of young Phil and I being on stage with them, they literally just talked inside baseball. They just talked about like,
because they're massive baseball fans. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously Scott played baseball, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's funny because when Sean, when we asked him the same question, what did you geek out on as a kid? Sean immediately goes, "Well, I geek out on baseball."
Nice.
And just him and like literally they had their own podcast on stage. It was Sean and Scott talking inside baseball for like the good 5 minutes, and it's like, wow.
yeah.
Oh, I love
He's
that.
like, what does anybody else want to nerd out about like Willie McGee? Or like, I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. Let's do it. But yeah. Once you find what people are passionate about, you definitely can get them to open up. So maybe I answered my own question to you, like, how do you get people to open up? So maybe you find out what they're passionate about.
Yeah, I think if you see, it's always those first time interviews that are sometimes difficult because your research can only get you so far.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To actually talk with a person, to dive into themselves, to make sure that they're not nervous going on the show, like talk in the green room for like 15 minutes to maybe calm them down, or maybe get a feel for what their headspace currently is. You need that type of preparation, not only for yourself, but for them as well too, because it's easier for a pre-recorded show like what I'm currently doing compared to here. I'm just hoping I don't say something silly, and it gets clipped 5 ways from Sunday, and all of a sudden I'm a meme. So we'll see what happens.
Good news, if you say something silly and it gets clipped, I mean, we have a philosophy that other people have is no, what is it? No, or all press is good press. Like you can say something silly, but it's just putting your name out there.
If it gets you views, why not?
Yeah, sure. I got half the internet. Half the internet hates me right now because of a Tyrion Lannister theory that I talked about.
Yeah, maybe we should talk to George R. R. Martin from around the corner for Mac Brooks there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So yeah,
here's another. I like that tip of like getting your guests kind of warmed up and kind of feeling where they are. I was going to ask, like, this is another kind of inside baseball type question, but like, how do you plan out your interviews?
Wow, let's stutter much. I haven't had my coffee yet, apparently. If it's a first time guest, I have 15 questions. They're not the same questions for everyone. It's just a general framework that I have.
Okay.
I change it from guest to guest, no matter what, depending on what the industry they're in. So comics are different than film, than whatever. If they're repeat guests, I basically throw out all the questions I've ever asked them, and I just have a conversation.
Yep.
It's just, I've gotten to that level of comfort with them, if it's their second or fifth or 13th time on the show, where we can just talk and we can just converse, and they'll say something about a project they're working on. It'll trigger a question in my own mind, and we just keep it flowing. And I think that's the hardest part, is keeping a conversation flowing and having the guests either continue the conversation or freeze up and just get lockjaw and have like yes or no answers. And like that's happened 5 times in 18 years for me. So
yeah.
I think that's happened once for us. And I remember James wasn't on the show, but he was producing on the back end. He was like, "Hey, you need to figure this out."
Yeah. But that kind of goes back to our skills as an interviewer.
Yeah.
Like if we're asking yes or no questions and we're getting yes or no answers, that's our fault.
Right.
That's our fault for not being prepared or not knowing how to get that guest to open up. So
yeah.
Yeah,
we've tried to have a philosophy of not always having open-ended questions and not having anything that is yes or no, just because yes or no questions will usually get you a yes or no, and that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. It wasn't until about maybe 10, 15 years ago where I started doing more open-ended questions, because I was getting that feeling of they're just going to be tight-lipped the entire time, and it doesn't have good flow for the conversation.
Right.
I mean, being at a comic convention, sticking a camera in the guy's face and whatever, and asking the questions that you have there, okay, that's a little different. But a show like this, you have to have those open-ended questions, which goes back to James's question earlier on about how do you get them to talk for 3 minutes. Open-ended questions. There you go. There's your answer.
There it is. There it is.
But
I love it.
It's fun though. It's just you never know where a conversation can take you. You never know where their story is going to take you. And I find it's really amazing what some people can actually talk about these days or in their lives, whether it's creative or whether it's personal.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. That's cool. Hey, so that's okay. So we've been talking Two Geeks Talking. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer audio or do you prefer the video format, YouTube?
Uh, I I like the editing for audio for the podcasting side of things because it's a complete story and you're not worried about visuals. However, and this is my thought, I like YouTube because I can provide interactive interviews. And I do those sparingly only because it really depends on the guest and what they're talking about. And if I can find the right images or videos, etc. Like I had Paul Cooperberg, who's a talented writer for was it Bronze or Silver Age of Marvel and DC?
Oh, wow.
The Flashpoint. You guys are geeks, right? When was Flashpoint? Like what age of comic?
Oh God, Flashpoint was mid '80s, so that would have been. I mean, that's obviously after golden silver age. That's going to be like more modern. Because Flashpoint. I'm trying to think. Flashpoint was what 86, 87. So it was post, or it was actually pre Dark Knight.
So it was so the whole multiverse. However, the multiverse first got started in Marvel. He was in the writers' room doing that stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so he was interviewing interviewing writers and artists of the Bronze, Silver, and Golden Age who were still alive for his various books. Very talented writer, an amazing person. If you ever get to interview him, please do. He's truly an incredible person. He was giving me names and people and things like that and telling stories during our entire hour-long interview. And the reason why I made it interactive was because if you're not a fan of comics or whatever, you're not going to know who these people are. You're not going to know their impact in comics. So I actively was searching for any images I could find of the people he was talking about, the comics he referenced, things like that. Like I put a lot of effort into it, and maybe it didn't get 100 views, but at least someone may go back to it and say, oh, this is who this producer or this writer or this artist looked like. You know, now I can look at their works and, oh, I really love that art style. It wasn't just about, say, Kirby or Stan Lee or anything like that. It was all the other people that don't always get referenced in the same timeline or reference.
In the same light, right? Yeah.
That word.
That's a good point. And you never know what's going to hit because somebody may hit later on in life where all of a sudden that artist gets the shine and they go from there. Like,
I mean, you look at Bill Finger and like kind of how Bill Finger didn't really get credit for Batman for the longest time, and then now there's like a resurgence in people wanting to learn about Bill Finger.
Nice, it's really good.
Or young Phil, like we see Chris Marinan around at various shows, and some people are like, "Who is that? What does it matter?" But like he wrote a lot of Nova. Back in the day,
and Nova's like they're talking about doing movies for Nova now and everything like that. They're doing this, and a lot of it is what's crazy is we're hearing that they're basing a lot of it on Chris Marinan's run.
Nice.
And it's like, oh man, I mean, we got it in the ground level. We've been friends with Chris for a while, so it's awesome.
Quick interview.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same. That's funny because that's exactly, we've interviewed Chris. He's great. He's an awesome guy. But like at LA Comic-Con a couple of years ago, we were hanging out. Our friend's booth was right next to the animated series for X-Men creators, and they were just sitting there. I'm like, oh, I love that show. I should go up and talk to them. But then I forgot. Like I got busy. But now those same creators are back on X-Men 97.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh God, there's no chance I'm gonna get to interview them now. They just went big time on me. They're gonna be like, I remember you. You didn't say hi to me.
But you never know unless you ask. Yeah. That's the other thing. We always have it in our mind, like, oh, I'm never going to get this guest. I'm too small of a show, or I'm too small of an interviewer, which is why I did that, Little Person Amongst Many Giants. I was interviewing Ramon Perez in C2E2, who was doing at the time, he was doing the last Jim Henson's manuscript, Tales of Sand. He did the graphic novel. He did the graphic novel of it. And so I was there and I was at my scheduled time, and NBC and CBS tried to muscle in
Oh wow.
before me. And he's like, no, he's here first. You can wait. Like, okay, cool. I like that. You're a double thumbs up in my book there. So
Again, they're just people, and like you
Exactly.
respect them, they'll respect you.
Yeah, I've always looked at it as, I mean, they're just regular people who just happen to have a really cool job.
yeah. And talented too. I mean, just so
Exactly.
amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You know,
Philippe, tell your bucket list story of
Oh, God.
interviewing.
okay, so so this was LA Comic Con 3 years ago.
Okay.
And you know, we typically don't get in line to go meet celebrities or anything like that, but one particular celebrity kind of just tickled me. He was there and it was a big deal for me. I have 3.
But like in a consenting way, not like,
Yeah, exactly, in a consenting way.
yeah.
Was it
There's
Elmo?
Okay.
There's always consent. Hey, let's tickle me Elmo. No, I have 3 bucket list interviews, and he happens to be one of them. And so we get in line, and we get all the way to the end, and he has a tendency to talk to the people that are in line with him, because his whole thing is about, you know, interaction with his fans. And I'm purposely saving his name so that way. And basically, I just kind of like pour my heart out to him. I'm just like, you know what, hey man, you know, you're a big inspiration to me. You know, there are 3 people who inspired me, 2 people who inspired me to be a podcaster, and you're one of them. You know, I wanted to get into voice acting because of you, and he was just, you know, kind of moved by it. And it's so, just to kill the suspense, it's Rob Paulson.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm talking with Rob for a minute and kind of again pouring my heart out to him, and he's very moved by it. And he goes, well, do you have time tomorrow? Do you want to do an interview? And my eyes light up, and I'm like, no, yes, I want to do an interview. And he goes, well, I don't really have time over the course of the show, but I've got like a 1-hour lunch tomorrow. I can just go and do an interview on my lunch break tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he took time out of his day, the little bit of personal time that he had, to come and do an interview with us, which he had a blast. You can tell when you listen to the interview how much fun he had.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I tell him, if you go back and listen to the interview, I tell him I have 3 bucket list interviews, right? My number 1 is Kevin Smith, the king of the nerds. That guy's, I'm absolutely in love with the guy. Number 2 is Mark Hamill. And Mark Hamill's another big, you know, nerdy dude that I relate to a lot. And then number 3, and I said, and this wasn't in particular order, but number 3 is you. And he goes, oh, that means a lot. And I said, no, it's a big thing, because not only did you play 90% of the characters that I loved when I was a kid, but you're also just such a gracious person, and your podcast inspired me to do a lot of things, talking tunes. So, you know, he came on. He did like 5 character voices promoting the podcast, and then the next year I meet Kevin Smith, and I kind of do the same thing. Kev cried when I told him that, like, kind of the same story, and then I made the dumb move of not getting his contact information, even though I gave him mine.
Okay.
And I have not been in touch with him since, and that's been 2 years now. We tried to, he was in Sacramento last weekend, and we were trying to meet up with him again, but the line was so long, and we didn't realize they were selling tickets, that we didn't get a chance to see him. So, but I mean, like, it's funny because we're now at this point, because we do so many Comic Cons and we're friends, and we do so many interviews at cons and whatnot. We're friends with a lot of his friends.
That's good.
And all of them keep telling us, like, you just got to remind him. I'm like, how do I remind him? I don't have his number like you do. Oh, you gotta hit him up on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, on the Twitter that he has like blocked. No, man, it's not gonna be that easy.
No, but going back to it, like meeting your heroes and just relating to them as people and they relate back to you is such like a gratifying feeling. Like when we met Rob Paulson, he was amazing, super
Yeah.
gracious for giving us his time that he didn't need to give us. It was just so nice that he did that. And he even like invited us to like a show. Like, hey, do you guys want to come? We're doing like a improv show with all of my voice acting friends, and it was like all the who's who in voice acting. We're like, this is
God.
amazing.
And then next thing you know, we're hanging out with Fred Tatasciore and Phil Lamar, and we had like an hour conversation with Phil Lamar just about like the industry in general. Like it was so cool.
Yeah, I Phil was in Windsor Comic Con down here, and I got to talk with him, and he goes, "Oh, your last name's Sasso." I go, "Yeah, it's Sasso." "Oh, you any relation to Will Sasso?" I go, "Yeah, we're like third cousins, something like that, twice removed or whatever. We're in the same genealogy. It's just I can't place it." And he's like, "Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. You should really hit him up and talk with him." I'm just like, "Yeah, if I had his number, I would." So.
Yeah. He's like, I do.
It's funny because I have a friend from high school named David Sasso, and I was gonna ask you that, but I was like, "It's probably a lot of Sassos, man. I'm not gonna."
There's like 3 different Sasso families around my area. That one was lawyer, one was in waste disposal, and the other is like teachers. So that's our general split. But sorry, real quick about Kevin Smith. I was very fortunate to interview Jason Mewes for
Oh,
like
nice.
5 minutes.
I love Muse too. Muse is ADD incarnate. I love that guy.
Yes, he took about 300 photos on my phone with us together, and it's literally just him holding down the shutter. So I could turn it into an animated film.
So there's a good topic. I want to know what it was like to interview somebody like Jason Mewes.
If his publicist wasn't so intent on pushing everything out in like 10 minutes, it would have been a great conversation. But I kept it tight. It was 5 questions. I got to ask him. He was totally into it. I asked him my introspective questions as I do, because that's just quick and easy. And he got really like thoughtful and everything like that.
Cool.
It was a couple of years before Logan Paul got either kicked out of Japan or got big in the streaming area. I don't know which one it was, or maybe they're both the same thing. But he's like, "Oh yeah, like Logan Paul's in my building and he's doing some amazing content for YouTube." And so this is pre him getting famous, obviously.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's just like he was seeing the younger generation being more and more creative with technology and really pushing boundaries. Although Logan Paul pushes it too far in many respects.
Like before Logan Paul became a wrestler and before he kind of became who he became.
Yeah, right. Anyhow, moving on.
That's me trying to be as politically correct as possible.
Understandable, yeah.
So where did you meet Jason Mewes? Was it at C2?
No, it was Toronto. It was in Fan Expo.
It was at Windsor. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, the Fan Expo Canada in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. Phil Lamar was in Windsor. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Hey, so we've talked about podcasting, talked about interviewing. Let's talk about the documentary. So I know you're working on a documentary. What's the status?
I literally have to go through 15 years of interviews, finalize, like find those last 4 questions. Luckily, they're at the end of every interview, and then figure out which subjects are going to be the main focus of this. Because while I will pull from my own interviews with these people, I have to find the story first. And while it is, how do you deal with being introspective and your creativity at the same time? That's the overall theme. It is just one of those things where a lot of people have passed on nowadays. Like I asked those same 4 questions to Neil Adams.
Oh, wow.
The very first time, he didn't like a certain question and didn't mind letting me know about it. So years later, I got to talk with him again. He's like, sorry about that. I was having a bad day. There was, table was whatever, times, etc. I don't know what the general thing was, but so, we were fine in that respect. But it was just one of those things where you smile and thanks for the answer and move on and go from there. But I mean, it is what it is.
But it's nice that he came back to it and was like, "Yeah, you caught me at a bad time. I apologize." That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that's one interview I'll never let see the light of day, but it's one of those things where he's such a talented individual, or he was and still is in terms of his artwork, and just getting to speak with him is not something I could have never expected in my lifetime if I never started doing a podcast. So
Right.
So the documentary is still in the works. You're still framing it.
it's still pre-production for a while now. It's just finding time to actively do it. Like, do I set the show aside to focus on the documentary? Like, I think I like the idea of turning it into shorts now, because that is more digestible
Oh,
in this
that's a good
time,
idea.
in this climate of consciousness.
Yeah.
So,
But especially like in this age of
yes.
of kind of the way people consume content.
Yeah, it's if you would have told me that I would be doing shorts for long format interviews like 10 years ago, I'd say, what are shorts? Why do I need to cut my hour-long interviews or half-hour interviews down to like 30-second bites?
And I think we felt the same way up until recently.
Yeah.
It's when once we started cutting shorts and cutting reels and seeing kind of the impact that those made, we were just like, oh, we should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, as I'm interviewing a person, I'm actively like either writing down or I'm like memorizing what they're saying. Like, okay, this is a good point. This is maybe the start of a short. Oh, this is a good phrase. This is really good. Maybe I can take this phrase from over here and merge it with something like over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the jump cut's going to be horrible, but the message is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I did one with Tom Racine where he was talking about why, and this is probably a heated geek topic, but why Aragorn in the films is better than Aragorn in the books. And I got a minute clip of that, and it's currently blowing up on my socials in terms of the short reels on 4 different socials.
Yeah.
Blowing up for me
Nice.
is over 2,000 views. I don't know what
Hey,
it is
that's
for other
awesome.
people, but I'll take it.
So all like on average, we get somewhere around like a couple thousand, things like that. Again,
Nice.
we have one exception, and it's mostly because people hate me. But yeah, we have one that's like over a million, and it's literally because I'm talking about Tyrion Lannister and a theory about Tyrion Lannister, and people are absolutely pissed off about it.
Well, now I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah. See.
Can't be as bad as me saying Mark's name. I mean Max's name there.
Hey, you need to put it out as a short and see
It's
what
already
happens.
out there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I was
We're gonna
gonna
have
say,
to repost that one.
Yeah, I probably will.
I was gonna say, going back to like project wise, like I'm finding like you have to give yourself a date. Like if you have an open-ended project, that open end is just gonna always get pushed. Always gonna get pushed. Only because it's like we do a weekly show, so it's like this weekly show's got to take precedent. But then there's this other project. Maybe it's a longer term project that we need to start planning out, or an interview that's going to be coming up at a specific Comic-Con. So it's like, if you put a date behind something, I think that'll help it out. And I think that's just the way the creative brain works. Like if there's a deadline, it puts more priority on it for you. So
It's also
Anyway.
ADHD. Just
Could be.
ADHD is like if you put yourself under pressure, you're more likely to do things.
Yeah, I definitely will. Thank you, James. This is the most like conversation I've had about it, so I will definitely keep that in mind. I will definitely set a date, and I think the shorts portion of this is going to be the best solution for said documentary. I'll release it in say 100 parts or whatever.
There you go. Hey, look at all that content. That's good. YouTube's gonna love it. YouTube's gonna love
If only I was monetized there.
it. You'll get. Hey, this
Maybe
could get
that's
you
what
there.
monetizes you.
Good. See, that's positive thinking. I like it there.
All right, let's flip some questions
Sure.
and see how we get some fun answers. So, if there was a movie based on your life, who would you want to play you,
And why?
Oh Christ.
and why is it Brad Pitt?
Sorry, I gotta kind of backtrack a little bit here. How tall are you, James?
How tall do I seem?
I gotta say like 5'5".
Let's go 5'10".
Okay.
I don't know why he's laughing so much.
I'm laughing because he's 5'5".
Oh, okay.
Okay, here, let's put it this way. So, Young Phil interviewed Sean Astin
Yeah.
a few years ago at a con, who played
Rudy and Bill and Sam Wise. Yeah.
Samwise Gamgee. So, he was a hobbit. So technically, I'm the same size as a hobbit.
Okay. I'm five.
Right around 5'6".
Okay. Well, I'm 5'3". So who's the shortest actor that could play me? We could always do Gary Oldman on his knees like he did in that Little People's.
Oh yeah, there you
film.
go.
I could do that
See?
too. But I mean, my life as a geek isn't spectacular. I mean, sure, my early days were, but I really don't know. That is a new question for me. I'm gonna have to borrow that.
Oh, don't worry. We stole some other questions
okay.
from another podcast
Oh,
later
good.
on, so don't worry about
I
that.
won't feel so bad then. I think going back to Sean Astin, I think he would be the person that could probably play me the best. We're about the same height, more than likely, same stocky type build. In fact, he was the reason why I got into high school football, was because I saw Rudy,
There you go.
and that inspired me. I mean, he went to Notre Dame. I can't fault him for that, but it is what it is. So, I'm sorry, your wife would like that one. So,
I don't know how Jenny feels about that.
anyhow, so okay, we'll go with Sean Astin as my thing, and I just think from a personality perspective, he just seems so genuine, and so
Yes,
he is how he appears in terms of interviews and such like that. I think we have a similar vibe in that respect. So
100%, he is 100% the person that he seems in every interview. I saw him again recently, and he remembered.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was just like, yeah, man. He goes, "Did you bring me any more cookies?" I was like, "No, man. Like, you got mad because you kept eating all the cookies. You're like, I need to stop eating these."
Were they special cookies?
No, one of our
they
other
were special
co-hosts-
cookies.
They were special, but they weren't special. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
This was right after the first season of Andor.
Nice.
And our other co-host Jen, she found a recipe and made the yellow travel biscuits.
Oh. Okay.
And she made a bunch of them, and we put them out on the table while we were interviewing Sean, and he just kept eating them. He was like, "Oh my god, these are so good."
He's like, "What is this? Lambus bread? Lambus bread?"
Nice.
That was funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like Sean Astin. He's genuine.
Yeah.
He's nice. Has good range. I like it.
Mhm.
Okay, so another movie question: what would be the worst movie sequel ever made?
Highlander 2,
Wow.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Wow.
It never, if anyone said that they enjoyed Highlander 2, stop being friends with them. I'm sorry. In terms of movie chronology, whatever that word is, Highlander 1, Highlander 3, Highlander 4, the series, and The Raven. And we're good.
And the reboot.
And the reboot as well. Look, I'm going to be first in theaters on December 5th or 7th or whenever it's playing, because I have high hopes for it. It doesn't matter if the director was the same director in John Wick or whatever the case may be. I want to see how they tell this story for the future. Maybe this movie is going to inspire a new set of directors or a new set of actors or a new set of maybe martial artists, because that's how I got into martial arts. So
Yeah.
it was just something about it is just like it's a world that hasn't been told in over 40 years, basically.
Right.
Like it
And-
needs to be retold.
I think this day and age, the creators that are making the choices have a respect for the IP that we grew up on, that they grew up on. Look at like how they're treating Aliens, or Dan Trachtenberg with the Predator franchise. There's so much like love and respect that's happening with these, beloved IPs. I have faith when somebody goes, "I'm going to reboot this." Even like He-Man,
Yeah.
I'm so excited for He-Man, and I've had so many arguments about like, where this is gonna go and kind of what it is. And I mean, I'm a genuine comic nerd when it comes to He-Man. Like I went from watching the cartoons to reading the comics to all this. So like all these things where everybody's just upset with certain things. Like we'll get into this after we do these
Sure.
questions, but I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot to the He-Man film that I have a whole take on like how all that's going to work out.
Look, it can't be any worse than Dragon Ball Evolution. So
No,
it's sort of be fine.
You're 100% correct. That was the worst. Between that and M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar.
Yeah, he only had Sixth Sense, and the rest of his stuff has just been awful.
Yeah.
Which
Wait, we don't know anybody in Dragon Ball Evolution, right? We're not going to piss off anybody.
I think we know like one no, I know one person who was in Dragon Ball Evolution.
Okay, all right.
James Mercer.
Well,
but
wasn't that bad?
But at the same time, I don't think she would care that we're making fun of her.
Oh, okay. Then we're good. No, I was gonna say, so He-Man, like the way Kevin Smith treated the, I don't know, sequel series to He-Man. Oh my god, like that's the type of level of nerd that we need creating content.
Right.
Moving forward, like with our beloved franchises. I love it.
Yeah, 100%. I like, because they grew up on like that property, and that inspired them in some way, shape, or form to do what they're doing. Like, I mean, Kevin Smith's probably one of the biggest geek directors out there, if not the biggest. So the fact that he took a chance on the animation of that sequel type thing was incredible. Like, a lot of people gave it crap, but I thought it was really well done overall.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that, sure, hindsight's 2020, but if you enjoy what you're doing, if you're passionate about what you're doing, like, don't worry about them. Like, you've made the product, it's out there. Someone is going to enjoy it some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, exactly.
Except,
and X-Men 97 is another one where it's like it takes your love for something and just gives it to you as an adult, and you're like, this is blowing my mind, and it's just amazing. Anyway, let's keep it going. Since my next question, I guess it would be kind of an interview, but kind of a conversation. But who would you like to sit next to on a 10-hour flight, and why? And it could be anybody, living, dead, that sort of thing. And basically, who would you like to have a conversation with?
Not Max Brooks, but his dad, Mel Brooks.
Yes.
Mel Brooks, personally, seriously, like, he would be for me, because I grew up on Blazing Saddles, on Young Frankenstein, on Spaceballs. Like, I grew up in a lot of these films where I just enjoyed the comedy. I enjoyed the slapstick. I enjoyed just everything that he put together, because it was just, from a visual perspective, now looking back on it now, being in film and all that stuff, the choice of character interactions and the themes and things like that his comedy supersedes all of that. But it's incredible what they did. And those are the types of actors that you don't really get nowadays. You get a lot of cookie cutters, but there are still some outliers that have that Gene Wilder and Artie Lang and things like that. So
what I find interesting is that Mel Brooks had a certain style of comedy. It was a little slapstick, a little on the nose, but it's comedy you couldn't get away with today in this PC, cancel culture age that we've been in. But nobody goes after Mel Brooks.
They'd be stupid to. Like, why are you going after an amazing 98-year-old director? What is your reasoning behind that? Please tell me.
That man is a national treasure. Anybody goes after him, we will kill them all.
And an amazing Jewish director at that. So
exactly. Good luck.
So what are you nerding out on, or what are you geeking out on these days?
I just got back into Minecraft because that was fun. I hadn't touched it in like 5 years. I got sick of Destiny and just their BS. So
I was a dude. I'm a D1 player, right? So it's
same.
So like you already know, if anybody who says I'm a D1 player, you know what that means, right? And it's like, man, Destiny Destiny lost so much. I stopped playing after it was after one of the Iron Banner things that they did, and they like mass permabanned a whole bunch of people.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, and they permabanned a bunch of guys that were on my raid team because they were helping people with going to the lighthouse. Like
Yeah.
they were doing like lighthouse carries.
Yeah.
And you know, when they permabanned everybody, they like quit playing and whatnot. So they were like, I'm not gonna rebuild a character that I've been building for like the last, what was it, like at that point, like 6-7 years, right?
Yeah, I after the Star Wars most recent expansion, which was really well done, by the way. They did an amazing job with it. So I did love that. It's been 10 years. I've paid my dues. I've enjoyed it. I went to the lighthouse once. Like, that's all. I haven't raided in like 7 years because the mechanics get more and more complicated. It's a 6-hour commitment, blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm done. Want to spend my time doing other stuff like interviewing and reading comics and, you know, looking at whatever new geek shows coming out. Like,
Right.
I watch a ton of anime as well too, and I'm just kind of all over the place with my stuff. So I think if you spend your time the way you enjoy it, then find what you enjoy and keep at it. And regarding the comment that someone just popped up saying they're building their daughter's first house in Minecraft, you know, congratulations. Make sure you have lots of high fences.
Who's that? Oh, Night of Oa, that's Matt. Yeah.
And fire is not your friend when it comes to wood. Just saying.
Hey, he'd be a good interview for you. He's deep into comic books. So
toss this info towards me, and I'll be happy
There you
to
go.
chat.
That is Matt Aguilar from comicbook.com.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
I think I've visited that site once or twice.
Yeah.
I visit it every day, as a matter of fact. Okay. Those were all my questions. Philippe, do you have any questions you want to throw out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on, let me put this down.
I've been watching young Phil do his organization of his pieces for the last
I know
hour.
he hasn't built anything.
Isn't Lego supposed to be built?
I just started building. Okay, I had to. I'm building.
That looks like an iPad. What are you doing?
Right now it is, but because I'm building the base. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna ask you one of the hardest questions you've ever been asked in your life. Are you ready for this?
I'm single. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. What is your favorite kind of taco?
Is there any other kind besides beef and made by, you know, an authentic taco place? Like we are fortunate enough here to have a good Mexican community. So whatever they make is amazing and tastes so good. And I've gained 20 pounds eating at their places. So.
Yeah. There is.
Hey, real quick though, do you put like gravy on top of it, or?
That's a Canadian thing.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry.
Poutine taco.
Poutine taco. There you
Someone's created it, and it's not as good as it sounds. It's literally just a soft taco with poutine.
All right, I'll still try it.
Oh God. No, I was gonna say there is a correct answer to this. The correct answer is al pastor, and if you've never had al pastor, you need to get it. It's marinated pork. But yes, that is the rule of thumb for most Latinos when we go to a Mexican restaurant. Usually, what we'll try is al pastor, and it's mainly because if the al pastor is good, and everything in that restaurant is going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah,
so now I gotta go to my local restaurants and see if they have that.
Yeah. You sometimes it'll be under a different name. It's usually al pastor. Al pastor is the common name for it. Sometimes you'll see adobado.
Adobada.
Adobada. Right.
Alibaba, what? No?
Adobado. And adobado is it's
just slur it together
process.
and they'll get it.
Yeah, it's a different process, but like it's essentially the same style of pork. So you'll see one of those two names.
All right.
Typically when you go to most Mexican places. What is one of your guilty pleasure fandoms, or like a fandom that you couldn't live without?
That's tough. I think for me it's Highlander. Like I'll rewatch the series like every 5 or so years because I have all 6 seasons here. And I think that's an underappreciated series. Like a lot of people don't know about it these days, although you can find the entire series on YouTube if you just do a search. But something about expanding a single cult classic film to span worlds, to span generations, to span centuries, to quite literally from set design to music to the actors that are in there. Like nothing has come since then. There's been some great shows since then, obviously, but not to that level of like involving history and involving, amazing sword fights for the time.
Right. Here we are.
Thanks, Freddie.
And a great theme because Queen killed it.
100%. Like if they do not bring the Queen soundtrack into this remake, all hope is lost for me.
So then
that's a good point.
The next question I have we may have just answered that, right? What is a song or a theme song that puts you in a good mood?
Well, I mean, Princess of the Universe is a good one. Exactly. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes Stairway to Heaven is always something that's just if you need a melancholy 11-minute and 55-second extended edition of it instead of the radio edit of 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Don't ask me how I know that.
Just remember, no stairway.
Like Mike Myers was just killing the guitar when he was trying to play that. Just saying, that was not a official playing, but that's for another time there. But no, I think I grew up in the 70s and 80s rock and roll, 90s as well. When hair metal was literally how many bottles of hairspray can you put onto your head? We had 5 guys in high school that had 2-foot mohawks. It was crazy how many they were ducking through doorways.
That's awesome.
Punk when punk was punk.
Yeah.
Right. So a good comfort food. What's your favorite comfort show or movie aside from Highlander?
I like sushi, just to put it out there. So
do you put gravy on the sushi just to no?
I got
all right. I don't know. I don't know what happens in Canada.
Look, if I'm gonna put a gravy on anything, I got to give it to my polar bear. If I do that, then the penguin gets upset, and then I have to deal with the moose.
See, I'm learning so much about Canada right now.
It's quite literally the penguin triad, the polar bear mafia, and the moose cartel. I don't know which one to tell.
Yeah, you don't want to anger the moose. Just anger the moose. Yeah,
you're dead.
We've gotten so much Canada knowledge from A to Zeb. It's been amazing.
Zeb. So the Star Wars now. Okay.
If anything, we're educating people.
Sorry, refresh me on that question.
I don't know what's happening.
Your favorite comfort show.
This is silly, but I enjoyed the Golden Girls.
So do I. That is a long running theme on our show. But it's because of my wife. My wife is a massive Golden Girls fan. She's one of those. My wife is one of those encyclopedia for Golden Girls.
Nice. Okay.
And so she got me into it, and now I'm a massive Golden Girls fan. So,
okay, what Golden Girl are you?
If I were to compare to anybody, so my favorite's Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because I have a sarcastic sense of humor. I have kind of that same type of quippy, witty energy. And I just love how she just rags on everyone, including her daughter. And it's just the greatest.
Yeah, I'm in that same vein. I completely, that's the reason why I like you. There you go. And James is good too.
Yeah.
So you're a Sophia in the streets, but a Blanche in the sheets?
Everybody's a Blanche in the sheets.
Yeah. when the lights are off,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Speaking of, I think you met Rob Liefeld while wearing a Golden Girls shirt.
I did.
Did you ask him to draw feet?
I didn't. Again, another joke that we make on the show a lot. No, I cosplay as Deadpool, but my Deadpool cosplay is Deadpool cosplaying as a unicorn.
Okay, interesting.
Because the joke behind it is if Wade went to a Comic-Con, he wouldn't go as himself. Right? If he went to a Comic-Con, he'd try to cosplay as something. He cosplays as a unicorn. And I was wearing a Golden Girls t-shirt at the same time. And it's the way that he looked at the costume was like, this is probably one of the most meta Deadpool cosplays I've ever seen.
Nice.
He goes, and on top of that, you're not like a quiet Deadpool. You are mouthy and witty, and it works out. And I was like, obviously, if Sophia is my favorite Golden Girl and Deadpool is my favorite character, you can kind of see the kind of personality I have, right? So
yeah, you're very subtle. I couldn't tell.
So that's when we met Liefeld, he basically my costume is Liefeld approved.
Okay.
That's again, I'm going to ask you a very hard podcasting question here. This is the most podcaster question ever. Okay. Who would win in a fight, Joe Rogan or the entire crew of Bad Friends?
Go with, oh, shoot, that's tough.
It is, because Joe Rogan's an actual fighter, so it's
yeah, but is Joe Rogan high or not?
Oh, that's a monkey wrench. Okay.
And how high? How many like levels like are we going?
Yeah,
because he can get pretty stupid.
Okay, let's go with Joe Rogan after eating an entire brownie. So not just a piece, but eating an entire edible. So and then going up against Bad Friends.
So an 11 by 13 pan at probably 500 plus milligrams of square, if you were to do squares.
It's gonna be high as shit.
Told there would be no math.
I got to go with Bad Friends on that one then.
There you go. There it is.
Joe's reaction time would be too slow at that point, but no, he probably would have built up a resistance after all this time too.
He built up a resistance. He's like a virus.
Well, he's a weed savant, probably is what it would be.
Now here's another monkey in the wrench. Bobby is also high as shit.
Oh, damn.
Bobby's sober, but he does get angry.
So. Yeah, but angry doesn't.
But I'm saying like we do Bobby Lee high, which is like, and he doesn't do it anymore. But if we do Bobby Lee high,
Joe would kick his ass in that.
Bobby's defense, he would get naked.
Would.
That's his thing. He's like, he'll just get naked, and then nobody's gonna touch
him. And then Andrew Santino is just gonna be distracting Joe the entire time. So
Yeah,
Bobby can like kick him in the nuts.
Andrew Santino would be doing color commentary in a horrible Asian accent, is what it is.
It would be exactly.
It's actually pretty good. Pretty good.
It is.
It is pretty good.
But anyhow, damn. Okay, for that second monkey wrench, I'm going to give it to Joe Rogan on that one.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
50-50 split.
50-50. All right. So what's some advice that you might have for anyone trying to get into the industry, man? If anybody's trying to become a podcaster, actually, you know what? I'm going to flip this a little bit. This is something that I had written before, and we didn't really do this, but we usually ask that question to everybody, right? Instead of that, what's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten from a guest?
I think, and I can't remember who it was specifically, so bear with me here.
Or maybe the best piece of advice from another podcaster that told you to do shorts. You know what I mean? Like
for a documentary, yeah.
For a documentary,
right.
And set a timeline as well too. So I'm actually held accountable after all these years. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling seen whatsoever on that respect, James. I think for me is, if you find it hard, don't stop, because that means you're doing something right.
I like that.
Wow.
And I can't remember who said that, but
I'm gonna say Kurt said that.
There you go. I'll take it. I really think that it was because I got to the point in podcasting and doing the show where I was getting burnt out.
Yeah.
It was the job. It was like I was at a call center for 3.5 years. I was taking 60, 80 calls a day, dealing with AT&T Uverse customers at the time, because that's always fun, especially Texas A&M people during that football season, and a tornado just rolled through. Just saying. I've never heard an 80-year-old grandmother.
Very specific.
I've never heard an 80-year-old grandmother swear so much, quite literally.
when you work in certain industries, you do.
Yeah.
I have heard I have heard some pretty pissed off old people.
Although I had a very pissed off Jamaican at one point, which I didn't think that was possible. So just saying. Story for another time. Anyhow, back to the quote was, because I was getting burnt out with the industry because of the call center, I went back to school. I found my creative path in school, and I didn't think I would find that. So I became a photographer, an artist, a bunch of other things as well too. But I found that I enjoyed producing more than I enjoyed creating something. And that gave me a new lease on life. And so when I was interviewing someone, they gave me that quote, and I was just, this kind of sets my path a little clearer. This is something that I can focus on, because I've been doing this for so long, 18 years now. It's coming August 8th. It'll be the start of the 18th season. And how have I survived all this time? And all it has been is just one interview at a time. Who's the next guest? Who am I going to speak with? Do I know them? Do I not know them? How can I make their experience the best possible while they're still doing all the talking? Because they're the people that watch my show aren't here for me. They're here for the guest. And so that's been my focus. Like, if I have a conversation with them and we have a flow, awesome, great, I'll leave it in. But if they're on a roll with what they are passionate about doing, I'm stepping back, and they have the wheel on this respect. So I think that's what's kept it fresh after all these years, and I'm glad that I've stuck with it all this time. And if I get to 20 years, awesome. If I don't, it's been nice meeting you guys.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. It's great. And again, it's introspective, you know. It's nice to hear, kind of like, you know, you have a level of joy in what you do, you know, and that you find ways to reinvent yourself and enjoy the things that you continue to enjoy, the things you enjoy, especially when it's like something that, like what we do in having conversations with people. Yeah, you know,
it's fun. Like I like this stuff, and I'm always one-on-one or one-on-two with people in terms of interviewing. Like this was a goal for me in the last few years, was start doing more interviews on other shows as a guest, because who is going to talk about Two Geeks Talking other than me? I don't know anyone else. So I appreciate taking the time to do this, because it's been a blast, and I have another interview tomorrow actually. So this has been really fun. I can't wait to maybe come back in a year or so, and if you'll have me.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely, man. No, every guest that comes on the show, if you had a good time, you're more than welcome to come back, man. So that's
if that second interview isn't as good, will you come tell us? Just let us know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'll send an email to Phil there.
Yeah. If we set the bar, you know what I mean? So what's next for you, man? Aside from doing shorts on a documentary that you've been working on for the last 15 years.
That seems to be my goal now. So
right. What's really next for you, man?
Well, I work in the TV and film industry as a DIT. So
what's that? What's a DIT?
A digital imaging technician. So I back up the footage. I put them onto timelines. I give them to the editor. They do the editing. So I keep the flow going while they're still filming, and they don't have to stop filming. So they hand me the cards. I duplicate it and hand the card back, and they erase it, and I move on to the next card.
Do you work at a station or?
No. I independent films and features and commercials and things like that. So whoever needs my services, mainly in Canada here. So it's something that's what I went to school for. That's my 20 years in IT plus getting a degree in communication, media, and film. It's kind of led to this. So use what you know and enjoy what you love. And so film and computers are kind of side by side for me. So
we definitely need to have you back, because we didn't even get to talk about that. That's awesome. That sounds cool.
So I have 4 features, and I appreciate that truly, James. And as long as you're co-hosting again, unless your other guy is going to come on, I don't know. The one time
we don't need young Phil. That's
Graveyard is a filmmaker, man. So I mean, like he would 100% want to talk to you about that.
I'm still here. Don't trade me.
That was the exit interview right there.
I know, right?
That was the exit interview.
Your badge.
Graveyard is the one that usually does our Thursday show. That's why everybody in the chat was like, "John Mez is on a Thursday."
So
everybody.
I've four young adult feature like Degrassi Junior High style this summer. Season 2 of Tales of Texas Road, which is about true horror stories, true ghost stories from people that have experienced ghost stories down here in Amherstburg.
Ooh,
And
that sounds
yeah, so that was a good interview, or that was a good series that was on Bell 5 TV. And I just did The Long Ride Home, which was about Chatham bikers and a lawyer trying to find out who killed his father. That just got released this year. So I got a lot of things coming that are really interesting and entertaining, and I can't wait to share them once I can actually talk about them.
Yeah.
oh, you have like
times in Canadian.
NDAs? I want to be able
Some.
to sign an NDA one day.
Yeah,
But you
no,
can. You just don't have to talk about it.
You're exactly right. Canadia's greatest export, young adult films.
They do on Pornhub. I mean,
Not the kind of adult that I meant. Okay. It's like they do well there. So where can everybody follow you if they want to learn more about you, if they want to go and check out Two Geeks Talking, if they want to go and check out your long list of interviews and everything that you've done, where can they find everything that Kurt Sasso does?
well, the easiest way you can find Two Geeks Talking is, of course, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TGT Media. The podcast you can find at Two Geeks Talking. That's TWO Geeks Talking, like it shows down below there. Don't use the number 2 for the love of God. Don't use the number 2 for the love of God, because that's not something you want to go to. Other than that, yeah, you can find me on all social medias at Kurt Sasso, KURT Sasso, or at Two Geeks Talking. And I answer all of my stuff. So enjoy. If you want to be on as a guest, I'm always interested in people that are in the entertainment industry and comics, TV, film, music, and video games. Because I've interviewed like voice actors and like Cass Anvar from Assassin's Creed and things like that too. So
Awesome.
Wow.
I've done a bit.
Well, we appreciate you so much for spending time with us, especially, I don't know what time it is in Canada right now. What is it? 3 hours
10:44.
ahead? What time is it over there?
10:44. We're doing good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's almost 11 o'clock in Canada.
By the way, on our show, there's only one time zone.
Yeah,
It's
the
only
West Coast is
Pacific
the only time zone that exists.
because it gets way too complicated. So we make everybody else convert to West Coast time.
But,
And we have,
but do you have daylight savings time?
we do.
Yeah,
We
that's
also
what makes
have
it
3
complicated.
we also
Stay
have
with us.
3 hosts that are on Central Time, so it makes it even better. Yeah, because we have 1 in Chicago and 2 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So they're always like, no, there is other time zones. No, there isn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, Kurt, again, we appreciate you coming on the show,
Thank you,
man,
guys.
and having a good time with us. Before we get going, of course, we got to throw our little miniature plugs here. So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week. We will be back on Tuesday to do more distance learning. We're going to be covering the news and everything that's going down like we normally do. Of course, if you would like to send us an email, if you want us to read it on the show, give us a topic you want to talk about or anything like that, you can send us an email at distancenerding@gmail.com. Of course, you can follow us on all the social media places. If it exists, we are there at Distance Nerding. And of course, hit us with more subscribers, guys. We're gonna be in next week. I keep saying 2 weeks. Next week, we're gonna be at Lego Centric, and we're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff there and covering the show. But we're also gonna be coming back with a bunch of door prizes. We're gonna be giving away a bunch of Lego because I promised you guys at 600 subscribers we'd be giving away Lego. So we're gonna do that. Plus, I'm still waiting on some of those Funko Pops to come in. But we're gonna be giving away prizes, guys. Once we hit 700 subscribers, we'll be hitting more prizes. So keep telling your friends about us. That's the big thing. Outside of that, that's it from us. Again, Kurt, highly appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, man.
Thank you guys so much. This is a really good time, and I appreciate your amazing questions. And this flowed a lot faster than I realized. So I can't thank you guys enough for such a wonderful time on Distance Nerding.
See, he did the promo. That's so smart.
James, you want to give us our lead out?
Thanks, everybody, and keep nerding together.
All right, we'll see everybody. next week.
Deuces.
Distance nerding.